In this video, we're going to review transforming parent functions. So we looked at the big pink notes that you have and a bunch of parent functions that you're familiar with. So I want to introduce one more to you. It is called the step function, or you might hear it referred to as the greatest integer function. So let me show you what this looks like. So here's what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you what it actually is. All right, so it looks like this. So it's a little staircase. Notice it has a closed dot on the left and an open dot on the right. Close, open. And it would continue on and on and on. Now, what's going on here? Well, it's called the greatest integer. So you have to remember what integer means. Integer means whole number, right? So if a value, let's put in a value for x, and we do the greatest integer, and it looks like this. It's like a double bracket, all right? Okay, so how this function works. Let's say I have a value of 1. Well, what is the greatest integer is greatest whole number less than or equal to x, okay? So integer, we use this double z thing. That means the integers. Remember, integers are whole numbers. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way, all the negative numbers, all the positive numbers, just no decimals. So it's asking what is the greatest integer less than or equal to whatever we're putting in for x. So if I put in a 1, well, the greatest integer less than or equal to 1 is 1, right? Easy enough. Well, what if it's like 1.23? What is the greatest integer less than or equal to 1? Well, if it's less than or equal to, then it would be just 1. What if it's 1.99? Well, the rule says less than or equal to the value, so it would have to be a 1 again. So you can see on the graph, when I put in 1 and everything, as 1 gets higher and higher and higher, it's remaining at 1. And when it hits 2, it jumps up to 2. So it never exactly is at x value of 2 right here. That's why it's an open circle. So where this gets a little weird is when you're dealing with negative numbers. So it's like, say, at negative 1.25. Well, think about your number line here, right? If here's 0, here's -1, -2, -3, whatever. Less than or equal to, so if -1.25 is right here, what is the greatest integer less than or equal to this value? Well, the closest integer to this value that's less than or equal to it is a -2. So you can see at -1.5 or 1.25, it dropped all the way down here to a y value of -2. So it's a little bit strange in that regard, but it's not impossible. So that's enough of that. But let's look back for a moment. Our domain, notice our domain is going to be all real numbers, okay? All values of x work, because whether it's on an open circle or closed circle or an open circle, it's valued somewhere on the graph. It's not continuous, but it is on the graph. Now, what about range? Well, range, notice there are some gaps here, right? There's some gaps in the range where all these decimal values are. So there's gaps right here. So what happens is only the y values at whole numbers are actually used, right? So what do we call those whole numbers? We call those integers. So we use that symbol. Now with a highlighter, we do a Z, double barrel Z, okay? That is integers, all the integers. Now, great, so what? So let's talk about transformations of our graph. So let's start with the greatest integer function. So notice what's happening here. What is the +2 going to do? It's going to take the parent function and raise it up 2 units. So if I look at my parent function, where is it at 0? It's normally at 0 and over. So that first value, where x is 0, is going to go up 2. So I'm going to move that point up 2 and just shift the little staircase up 2. All right? And that's all you have to do here. Okay? Now let's look at number 2. We're not doing greatest integer function here, we're doing absolute value. So if you don't remember, pull out your pink notes. What does your absolute value function look like? Well, your absolute value function is not that one, but it's this one. Absolute value function looks like this. Remember this from our pink notes? It's the V, right? It's the V with the center at 0, 0. So I'm going to move that quadratic down for a moment. Absolute value looks like this. So if I'm taking that parent function and I need to look at the equation here, what's happening? Well, this minus 3 is happening to the x term, so it's going to be opposite of what logic says. So it's minus 3. That makes me think go left, but because it's in the absolute value bars, it's going to go right. So that's going to move the whole thing right 3 units, and it's going to move it down 2 units. So my value that used to be at 0, 0, I'm moving it right 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to move it down 2, 1, 2. All right, and then I'm just going to maintain my shape, and that's all I have to do. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one is a quadratic. So if I pull out my pink notes or I don't remember, you need to know these, by the way, by the end of the unit. Your quadratic equation, I know it's quadratic because of that 2 right there in my equation, right? So what's happening here? Well, we have a lot of things going on. X minus 2 means it's moving to the right 2, and that plus 1 is going to move it up 1. But then what about the minus in the front? Well, the negative in the front is going to reflect it over the x-axis. So it's going to reflect it down. All right? Now, so let's first identify the new point. That used to be at 0, 0. It's moving right 2 and it's moving up 1. And instead of opening up, it's being reflected. So it's going to open down. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, square root function. Square root function. Do you remember what the square root function looks like? It looks like the one that is jumping off a diving board. This guy. Okay, he's jumping off a diving board. Starts at 0, 0, jumps off the diving board to the right. But let's look at what's happening to our function. What is the plus 5 doing? Well, that plus 5 is like within this bracket, if you want to call it a bracket or square root. So it's going to be opposite logic. So instead of plus 5 being moving to the right in a positive direction, it's going to be opposites. It's going to be left 5. And the plus 1 means it's moving up 1. So that point that used to be at 0, 0 is going to move left 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, and up 1. And it's going to maintain that shape. Okay, there's no reflecting going on. It's going to keep that same shape. What about the rational function? Pull out your pink notes if you don't recall. What is the rational function? What does that one look like? Well, this one's the one that's the L's. Okay, it looks like this. And uniquely, it has those asymptotes along the x-axis and the y-axis. So anything that happens to x in my equation is going to mess with my vertical asymptote. Move it left and right. So I need to be aware of that, okay? So let's look at the equation first. Okay, so 1 over x. So nothing's changing with my x value in this regard, or this example. What is the minus 3 doing? It's going to move me down 3. Well, what is it moving down 3? It is going to move the horizontal asymptote down 3. So this asymptote right here that is at 0, it's going to shift it down 3. But the curves are going to stay close to the intersection, okay? The vertical staying the same, the horizontal shifting down 3. All right, so let's draw this out. Now, when you do asymptotes, you want to make sure they're clearly dotted lines. So vertical staying the same, however, the horizontal is shifting down 3. And then I'm just going to draw the curves hugging those asymptotes. All right, that's that one. Okay, good. Now, number 6. What is this? Well, this one is 2x squared minus 4. So it's quadratic. I know that because of this. Okay, it's quadratic. Minus 4 means it's going to be moving down. It's going to move down 4. But what is the 2? The vertical. It is a vertical stretch by 2. I know that because it's a whole number. Okay, it's a whole number. If it was a fraction, that means it's a shrink. Stretching means it's going to stretch up towards the y-axis. A fraction, a shrink, would move it, flatten it out towards the x-axis. All right. Now, for graphing, we need to move our vertex down. And what used to just be 1 and 1, it's going to go up 2. I go over 2, it used to go up 4. So instead of going up 4, so if you think about it, it's going to go up much faster. So it's going to be much skinnier, like that. All right, you don't have to be super exact. You just got to be able to, you do need to have it written out, vertical stretch, but as far as being really exact about how you graph that vertical stretch, I'm not too worried about that. But I want to see the words on each of these as what is the transformation doing, okay? And be careful, if it's a vertical stretch or a vertical shrink, you need to tell me by what factor. So by 2 or stretch or shrink by 1/2 or whatever it is, okay? Now, let's look at this last piece. Write a function matching each description. The cubic function stretched vertically by 5, shifted right and up 9. Okay, stretched vertically by 5 means it's going to be a value in the front of the x value. So there's a 5 out front, okay? And it's cubic, so that's x to the 3rd. Shifted right, that's a left and right movement, right? So that's going to happen just to the x value. So I need to take off my cubed part, and let's think about that. That means x is going to be in parentheses. And if it's shifted right, it's going to opposite what I think. So if it's moving right, this should be a negative in here. And it's right 7 and up 9 means the plus 9 would hang out on the end. Now the log function shrunk vertically by 1/3. So that means there's a 1/3 in the front. Reflected vertically, okay? Reflected vertically, that's the same as over the x-axis. So that means there's a negative sign out in the front of the logarithm function. Now, there's also a 1/3. So that's a negative 1/3 log of x. That's what we're looking for, all right? Now, this should give you a basic idea of what we're going to do in your assignment today or tomorrow. And so please come with any questions you might have.